Today, I'm going to tell you why the NFL needs to stop singing the Black National Anthem.
The thing is, Lift Every Voice and Sing were never labeled the Black National Anthem by its curators. You see, James Weldon Johnson and his brother wrote it as a poem and hymn for black communities that were oppressed and living under Jim Crow, and not as an official anthem and not to replace anything. The Black National Anthem label came later from commentators and ironically is coming mostly from white conservative spaces who keep repeating that phrase and then getting mad about it, even though they're the ones who helped popularize it in the first place. So watching a white conservative male make a whole 10-minute rant video over a song that was simply created for black people is just peak manufactured outrage. So nobody is trying to replace anything. Y'all are literally shadowboxing at this point. Y'all are not fighting anything. The song was written because black people had no real protection from the state, and in many ways we still don't because we remain the number one targets of hate crimes. Black people don't have much reason to feel included in American patriotism. Lift Every Voice and Sing was written in 1900 during Jim Crow and when black people were oppressed by law and denied voting rights and faced lynching every day and were excluded from white institutions. So with this all being said, black Americans don't want to live your fake pale-face culture by the book, especially when white Americans don't really have a single fixed culture of their own. Much of what's called a white American culture today was taken from other cultures, especially from black cultures, brown cultures. And then after it was taken, it was rebranded and normalized. So expecting black people to follow your rigid cultural rules while white Americans freely borrow, remix, and profit from everyone else's culture doesn't make sense. So the message that I'm getting to you is let other people, let other Americans who don't share your skin color live the culture that they want to live.
So there's a national anthem before the real national anthem, a black national anthem before the country's national anthem, and people wonder why the fuck everyone is more divided than ever. One of the most watched sporting events in the world is promoting dividing people and woke bullshit, and people wonder why things are worse than they've ever been before. I mean, leave a comment below. This is extremely frustrating. Is anyone else in the same boat as me out there? Let me know what the hell's going on.
Welcome to Black History Month, the White People Edition. Today we're talking about national anthems. If you're against the Black National Anthem being performed at events alongside the everybody else national anthem, we need to talk. Now, to my brothers and sisters in the white community, I need you to cast aside your ego and whatever varying degree of bias you might have, and listen to what I'm about to tell you and show you. And while I don't expect to change your mind, I do hope to alter your perspective a few degrees. Now, Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem in 1814 during the War of 1812. Now, Francis Scott Key writing the national anthem has been romanticized in our American history, but I'd like to pull back the veil a little bit on the national anthem and why a black national anthem even exists. And in case you don't know what the black national anthem sounds like, here is 15 seconds of a flawless performance at the Circle City Classic by opera star Angela Brown. That gives me goosebumps. What a lot of you might not know about Francis Scott Key is his family was actually enslavers. And during his career, he actually used to enforce slave laws. So it's pretty safe to assume his opinion and view on black Americans wasn't that great. To further prove my point, in the third verse, it even talks about putting hirelings and slaves either to make them run or unaliving them. Now, the slaves they were talking about in there is called the Colonial Marines. Now, who these were black American men, mainly in Virginia and Maryland, who went to fight for the British during the War of 1812 because the British promised them land and their freedom for doing so. Now, obviously, Francis Scott Key considered the Colonial Marines traitors, but I'm going to ask you this. If you were owned by another human being and you were being worked to death for free here in this country, wouldn't you take your chances fighting for the British for freedom and land? The national anthem wasn't adopted for over 100 years. My country 'tis of thee was often what was sung, but it wasn't until there was a big push in the 1920s and 30s with the United Daughters of the Confederacy leading the way to get President Herbert Hoover to make this our national anthem. That's right, the Daughters of the Confederacy pushed President Herbert Hoover, who W.E.B. Du Bois famously noted that was a very racist president, got him to make this our national anthem for all Americans. Remember, this was 1931. Black Americans weren't really real Americans yet. They couldn't vote. They couldn't marry outside their race. They were just expected to work, pay their taxes, and keep their mouths shut because of desegregation and Jim Crow laws. And just remember, this was a time in America when a black American could say the wrong thing, be at the wrong place, or bump into the wrong person. It could cost them their lives without any legal consequence to their attacker. I'm not going to lie. I'm patriotic. I love our national anthem. I have a deep emotional connection to the song, the first part. But I understand there are tens and tens of millions of my brothers and sisters in the black American community and other communities who don't view this song the same way. And that's okay. Now, James Weldon Johnson wrote Lift Every Voice and Sing, or the Black National Anthem, in 1900, and his brother John is the one who composed the music for it. And it's a fantastically beautiful, soulful song. You know, and as time went on, I know that it became really popular during the Civil Rights Movement, and it's become the widespread, adopted Black American National Anthem. And I'm okay with just calling it the Black National Anthem. But a song had to come about because at the time when we created our national anthem, and for 30 years after that, Black Americans weren't national anything. They weren't even full-fledged Americans until the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that was just changing the law. That still wasn't enforcing policies. So during the almost entire majority of their time in this country, our national anthem has really never applied to them. So I don't understand why this is such a problem to listen to two beautiful songs being played at events. Because the Black National Anthem doesn't require stealth fighters or helicopters or people jumping in with parachutes. It only requires a microphone and an open heart and an open mind. Try listening to it differently next time you have the opportunity to hear the Black National Anthem. Have a great day.
So the Black National Anthem was sung at the Super Bowl last night. And toxic white America's butt been hurting all damn day. I'm just curious. Do y'all just look for anything to be upset about? Are y'all happy about any fucking thing? That any kind of progress in America y'all happy about? Damn.
Hey, what's up, you all? How you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. In today's video, there's something that I want to address, something that I think it's better if we just try to see it as Black people sit down and talk about it. Now, you understand what happened during the NFL, the halftime SuperBowl performance, that really, there are a couple of things that I have to say in regards to this. First, I would like to say that white people are, they are giving their backlash to Black people for why should the Black National Anthem be played on, national television. So they have a problem with that. But you know very well that the United States is for majority of people, like a lot of people, and not just white people. But we are seeing white people complaining that Black people are trying to make America be theirs, but America is for everyone. One thing that I like to address in regards to this is that I like to say that America is not just for white people. America is for different types of people. And you see that when United States try to practice diversity, it becomes a problem to them. And now you are seeing everyone ranting online, saying that now they are done with, the Super Bowl and the NFL when they are trying to play the Black American National Anthem, that they should not play Black American National Anthem. They should play an anthem that is for Americans, that touches everybody. Okay. The American National Anthem, as it sounds, touches everybody. But the question is, what about representation? Because even when Bad Bunny performed, in Hispanic or in Latino, you also the backlash because they were not understanding. But this is what Americans should be. we should be seeing different people showing their different, you know, the diversity that is coming with all this group of people. But you see the state that we are when this becomes a problem, because they're not allowing this to happen. So brothers and sisters, I really don't know what you think, because for what I know is that Black American history is American history. So it's okay if they let them play the Black American national anthem. Well, in fact, it's the Black man's history, right? So please let me know what you think about this video. Thank you for taking your time and watching the video. And if you're watching it for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get Zero kind of for you. But until then, let's get into it. I'll be back with my thoughts.
Big controversy at the Super Bowl. Have you heard about this?
Well, many are asking, should the Black National Anthem continue being sung at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so a lot of people, mostly people of a certain persuasion, I'm not going to say which, but a lot of people are very upset about this. I've heard a lot of rumblings like, hey, we only have one national anthem. What is all this woke nonsense? So let's dig in on it really quickly, and let's just see if this is something that's worth being upset about. So let's take a very short journey. Let's just figure out how high, your anger meter should be on this thing. Let's start by just looking at the lyrics. I mean, keep in mind, people are saying that they're boycotting the Super Bowl because this song is going to be performed. So let's take a look at those lyrics. So this is just the first verse, and it says, "Oh, say, can you see? White people are bad, black people are great. By the dawn's early light, it's white people that we hate. Down with Whitey." I mean, those lyrics are a little aggressive. I'm sorry, what? Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah. Those are not the lyrics. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of folks watching this video knew those weren't the lyrics. A lot of black folks did. I'm sure a lot of white folks knew that as well, but I promise you, some of you thought the lyrics were either that or something like that or in the ballpark. And the lesson there really is just, if you're going to be mad at something, know what you're mad at. So here are the real lyrics. Pause to read. So here are the real lyrics. And look, the song is not officially called the Black National Anthem. It's called Lift Every Voice and Sing. In the early part of the 20th century, the NAACP promoted it as a Black National Anthem. And it's a beautiful song. And of course, the title, Lift Every Voice and Sing, what a beautiful sentiment. And the themes we have in here is really about faith, love, perseverance, family, God. I mean, look at those lyrics. I mean, come on. Are y'all really mad at these words, seriously? And keep in mind, the person who's going to be performing this song at the Super Bowl this year, it's Grammy Award winner and voice of a goddess, Ledisi. She is amazing. Y'all are some of you are mad that you get to hear her sing for free. I heard her sing a couple years ago. It cost me $400, worth every penny. But being mad that you will be hearing her sing is a little weird. So that covers the song itself and the performance that's going to be happening this Sunday. But let's talk about just the idea that there are going to be two songs played before the game that both have a reference to national anthem, either in the official or the colloquial title. And for you folks who are mad, colloquial just means like a nickname. But why would we have two national anthems played before the game? That's never done. That's never been a thing. Or is it? I mean, I haven't done extensive research on that topic, but I just know from my personal experience, it's a thing that's happened a lot. Examples. I grew up in Maine and grew up kind of in the late 70s into the 80s. We used to go to the University of Maine hockey games. And when we went to these games, they would play the national anthem for the United States, but also for Canada, presumably because 98% of the skaters on the ice back then were Canadian. It was a courtesy. It was a recognition of these players and where they come from. It wasn't a big deal. Nobody got mad. It took an extra 2 minutes and then the game started. And this is still a thing that happens in some National Hockey League arenas. I know in Buffalo, I think in a few others. Now, they always play the American and Canadian national anthem if you have an American and a Canadian team playing against each other. But some of the American teams, and I know Buffalo is one, they play the American and Canadian national anthem all the time, even if it's, say, Buffalo playing Detroit or Buffalo playing Boston. And I think there's a couple other NHL teams as well. It's a courtesy because it's still a lot of Canadian players, and it's just a recognition of, hey, this national anthem is appropriate because that's where most of our players come from. And some of you can see where this is going from that. And it's just the recognition that, look, in the NFL currently, about 55% of the players are black. So the NFL taking 2 minutes out of the pregame program just to recognize that over 50% of the players have a shared heritage, shared background, a shared ethnicity, whatever, that's not weird. That's very appropriate. Think about it. If, weirdly, let's say 55% of the players in the NFL were from Vietnam, and 45% were from the rest of the world. Would it be that offensive if they just wanted to play the Vietnamese national anthem to recognize that that's where most of these people are from, we're going to play that. We're going to play the U.S. national anthem, and then we're going to start our game. Y'all are so far out there. I mean, for people who call other people snowflakes, y'all sure do get easily offended. It might be time for a new hobby.
I'm starting to believe that this entire situation with Bad Bunny and the Tapisa halftime shows are really a case study on how white people just cannot allow other people to have anything. Because these conservative white Christians are so against allowing anyone to have representation, allowing anyone to showcase their culture, allowing anyone to be seen and celebrated or have joy. And I think it all boils down to they don't have any of that, despite being promised that they are special because they are white. So it baffles them that with all this whiteness that they have, with all this privilege, they're still miserable. And they cannot fathom why that is. And then they see us, right? The melanated people, Black Americans, Latino Americans, Indigenous Americans, all the Asian Americans, all the POC. They see us still able to have joy, still able to celebrate and keep connections to our culture, still have identity that's not tied directly to racism like theirs is. And I think that eats at them from the inside. That's why they age like spoiled milk. I don't know, kind of find this interesting. It also shows that these people do not understand actual symbolism and context. Because you couldn't just sit your ass down there and watch and still see how beautiful that show was. I don't speak Spanish, but I loved every second. I understood every symbolic thing that he put in that show. I understood the importance of people, whether I'm Hispanic or not. Seeing themselves matter. Seeing people that look like you matter. Representation matters. Celebration of culture matters. You gotta be some type of hateful to not understand that simplest fact.
And how racist do you have to have a whole separate halftime show because you don't want to see a Hispanic American performing at the real Super Bowl halftime show? Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a part of America. I do not know why people are upset that he is performing at the halftime show. That is some of the most dumb shit in the world. In the American halftime show that is supposed to be replacing it for a lot of people, they're gonna go watch it on a different network, and it's going to be Kid Rock and 3 country artists I've literally never heard of. I guarantee that you haven't heard of them either. This is supposed to be a good Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks are my home team, and there's a 69% chance that they're going to win this year. That's incredible. People are betting that on Kalshi with real money. Some of the dumbest shit I've heard all year. Alternative halftime show. Fuck you. Bad Bunny is good.
Did you guys see that Blue Square ad they ran during the Super Bowl? You know, the Stop Anti-Semitism ad they ran during Black History Month in a country where over 50% of all hate crimes committed are towards blacks. That's just super interesting, right?
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and present Tech Stories. Now let's get into it. Let's have a talk. Let's have a chat in regards to this. So the Black National Anthem being played on a national television becomes a problem to the United States. And I'll tell you that this all proves how America itself is not grateful towards black people. I think during all this, because I mean, I don't understand why it's a problem to them, because black people are not performing this in every single event. They are performing it during the NFL, but we are having the Black History Month. So what's the problem if black people perform or black people recite the Black National Anthem? It's important because it talks about the things that Americans don't want to talk about, right? And talking about diversity, it's a Black National Anthem, but what's inside the Black National Anthem, it's what affects majority of all Americans. To mean that what black people have always tried to advocate for, it has always been for every black people, every single black person, and every American in the United States, not just black people, but every single American in the United States. So these people are displaying, how they're afraid of diversity, how they're afraid of other groups to be represented, because now it's becoming a problem for other groups to be represented. They just want it to be like general, but there is beauty in representation. And let's just be specific, talking about the Black History Month. I think this is the time that Americans should give Black Americans their flower by allowing them to do all these things, by allowing them to recite the Black national anthem. Because if it was not for Black American, the United States wouldn't have been where it is today. So Black History Month is American History Month, and that's one thing that should be celebrated. I honestly don't see a problem, right? I don't see a problem with that happening because it is well deserved. Black Americans don't have to prove anything. It is well deserved. You can check it out in the histories. They did a lot of things. They did a lot of things to make all these things that we are seeing to become so much successful to these people. So I really don't know. Honestly, I really don't know what people think about this, but I think it's imperative for people to understand that Black American history is the American history. And it is time that America itself should give a chance to people to show the diversity. I mean, the United States is a multicultural state with different states occupying different people with different ethnic groups. So let Latinos play their music, let Hispanics play their music, let Asian Americans do their thing. That's the new United States that we need to see, that we need to have. And I think all these groups should be appreciated in the best possible way. So that's my 2 cents in regards to this. I'm hoping to see you in my next video. I really don't know what you're saying about this. Stay tuned on my next video. See you again.